Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video I will be showing you step by step how you can set up and build a WordPress website with HostGator. I will show you how to buy your hosting and domain from HostGator with the best deals and discounts available, how you can then install WordPress onto your HostGator hosting. I will then show you how you can access the best drag and drop website templates that make building your website extremely quick and easy. And then finally, I will show you step by step how the WordPress website builder works and how you can edit and customize these templates however you like to actually go ahead and build your website. So all you need to do is follow along with this step-by-step tutorial and you will walk away with a beautiful WordPress website hosted on HostGator. Okay, so to get started and to claim the best deals and discounts on HostGator, I will leave my affiliate link in the description of this video. It's going to be this link right here, geforcenorth.com/recommends/HostGator. So go ahead and click on that link and it's going to take you over to this page right here. So right now, HostGator have this Black Friday offer. By the time you are watching this video, it might not be Black Friday, it probably won't be, but they are always changing this offer and giving some new offer. So you will always find some variation of this offer by using that link. I do need to mention that this is an affiliate link, so if you do use this link, I will earn a small commission at no extra cost to you for actually sending you to HostGator. So I get a small commission at no extra cost, you get the best deals and discounts available. It's a win-win situation. But either way, once we are on this screen, all we need to do is usually you will see a save now button right here. So you can either click on this, or if not, you should just be able to scroll down and then you will see the 3 plans that we have available on HostGator. So we have the hatchling, we have the baby plan, and we have the business plan. And the one that I recommend for most people is going to be the baby plan right here. The reason for this is because we get 20 gigabytes of SSD storage as opposed to 10. Essentially, SSD storage is how you are going to store all of your images, all of your files in order to build the website. And what I have found is 10 gigabytes is a little bit too small. It can be okay, especially if you are building a smaller website, but it's definitely better to just have an extra buffer of an extra 10 gigabytes. And this is only an extra 75 cents per month. On top of this, you also get phone and chat support as opposed to just chat support. If something goes wrong or you need a little bit of help, you can reach out to them on the phone. And this is very important as well. We also get Cloudflare CDN. Now, what a CDN is I think they actually explain this right here, but essentially what this is going to use a variety of servers in order to make your website load faster. So the example that they give right here is if your website is hosted on a server in Detroit, Michigan, it might be slow to load for a user in Sydney, Australia, because that's like a long distance, right? But with CDN, they use multiple servers. So even if your main server is hosted in Detroit, Michigan, as it says right here, there will also be a version of your website that is on a server that is close to Sydney, Australia, or anywhere else. And this is going to make your website load a lot faster for a global audience. So this is very important as well. And of course, we get increased performance right here. Now, the business plan is a little bit overkill, like 50 gigabytes of SSD. You really don't need this unless you are building a huge website. So with this one, it's just overkill. There's also a bigger price jump between the baby and the business than there is the hatchling and baby. So you want to go ahead and choose the baby plan right here. And we can go ahead and click on choose plan. And then in here, we can now go ahead and choose the domain that we would like to get for the website. Now, with all of these HostGator plans, you can see right here that we get a free domain for the first year. So we don't need to pay for the domain. This comes completely free for the first year, and it's included with the hosting. So all we would need to do is once we click on here, we can then choose the domain that we would like to buy. So we just type this in. As an example, I could go for geforcenorth.youtube.com, and then we can click right here on search for domain. It's then going to go ahead and search for this, and if this is available, it's going to take me through to the next screen, as you can see right here. If the domain is not available, as an example, let me use a domain I already own, like geforcenorth.com. If I try to search for this domain, it's then going to tell me that this is unavailable and give me a recommended list of domains. Now, what I would say is if the .com domain is not available, don't go for one of these domains right here. And there's two reasons for this. The first is the domain might be copyrighted. So as an example, if I go like Pepsi, right? And Pepsi.com is unavailable. Well, if I go Pepsi.work, there's a good chance that this is already copyrighted, even though they don't own the domain. Secondly, these domains just aren't very professional. Like, I would not buy anything, or I would not really spend a lot of time on a website that is not a .com domain. So unless you have a specific reason for this, like if you need a .co.uk domain or a .fr domain if you are in France, for 99% of people, you want to make sure that you have a .com domain. And if it's unavailable, just change the entire name of your website. This is how important this is. But either way, we can find a domain that is available. Just leave these options at the top as they are, and we can click on search for domain. And just like that, we are now going to be taken through. From here, we will then be taken through to the cart area. And something else that is very important is going to be the amount of time that you purchase your domain for. If I click on this drop down menu right here, we can see that if I buy for 3 years upfront, the average price of my hosting is going to be $3.99 per month. If I buy this for 1 year upfront, this is going to be $4.75 per month. And if I go with monthly, this is going to be $13.95 per month. The only one that you don't want to go for is the monthly. Firstly, because it's just a lot more expensive than if we go for 1 year or 3 years. But the second reason is you see the domain right here that I get for free for the first year. Well, if I go monthly and change this, you can see that I actually have to pay for the domain as well. So with monthly, I can either pay $42 right now and get this for 1 month, or alternatively, I can go for the 1 year plan. Everything is included and I pay $71 for the entire year. Another thing to keep in mind is if I just pull the pricing back up right here, you will notice a difference between this pricing right here and the renewal price. So if you know that you are going to keep your website for the long term, it might be a better idea to go for 3 years as opposed to 1 year. The reason for this is because if I buy 1 year of hosting right here, after that time period elapses, so I go through and I have my hosting for 1 year, after the end of that 1 year, well, the hosting is then going to renew at $16.49 per month. But if I instead go for 3 years, I can pay $158 and I have my hosting for an entire 3 years before that ends, and I then have to pay the renewal price. So we can go in here and choose the period that we would like to buy our hosting for. We can then choose how long we would like to buy the domain for. Once again, we could go in here and buy this for 3 years upfront and just make sure that that is all paid off. But the domain price does not really tend to rise year over year. So you can go for 1 year. This is absolutely fine. Then domain privacy and protection. This is very important. And although it does cost $14.95 for the year, this is super important because if you don't have this, if we were to go ahead and turn this off, what this means is that people will be able to go to certain websites, they will be able to search your domain and find all of your personal information. So very important that we have this on if privacy is a concern for you. Then finally, we have the professional email trial. So this is how you can get a professional email. So a regular email would be rileyholden@gmail.com. This would be my regular email. But I can get a professional email relating to my domain. So in this example, it would be rileyholden@geforcenorthyoutube.com. You get a 1 month free trial of this, and then this is just $2.99 per month thereafter. Once again though, if you don't need this, you can turn this off. So with all of that in mind, we have all of this in the basket right here. We can see we have massive savings for using my affiliate link. And then all we have to do is click right here on continue to checkout. In here, you just want to enter in your billing information. So your address is this first part right here. We can then go down and create your HostGator account password. So we enter that in right here. And then finally, we can scroll down to the payment information where we can either pay with a credit or debit card, or we can go ahead and flick this over to PayPal if you would like to pay with PayPal. So I'm going to choose the credit or debit card. enter my information in right here. And then once all of that is entered in, we can go ahead and click on submit payment. Once we have submitted the payment and bought our hosting, HostGator is then going to take us over to this screen where it says, congratulations, your order has been successfully placed. So from here, all we now need to do is click on this big blue button that says log into account. And this is going to take us over to our HostGator dashboard. Now, right here in the middle, we can see it says that your WordPress website is ready. And we could go in here and just click log into WordPress. But before that, I just want to exit out of this because I'm going to show you the HostGator dashboard and how all of this works so you have a full understanding. So right now we are in the hosting area, and right here we can see the WordPress website. So we could go in and just click on edit, and that is how we get into WordPress. But before we go into that, we can go to the home area right here. Now, right here at the top where it says your baby plan is ready to be set up, don't worry about this because if we just click on setup, this is essentially just going to take us back to the hosting area because it wants us to go in and actually build this WordPress website. So when we go in and start building this, this is going to disappear. So don't worry about this for now. But what we do need to do is go into the action required area and see what these actions are and make sure we have these taken care of. So the first is going to be a security pin. This is just for an extra level of security. So if for whatever reason you get hacked, which is very unlikely, they just ask for a security pin. It's an extra level of verification. So we can set this up first of all. We just click right here on the right hand side on create. And it's then going to take us over to this screen where we can enter in our security pin. So this needs to be 6 numbers, no repeats with no more than 2 sequential. So this means that you can't just have like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You see? Because that's a repeated number. So what we would need to do is have this something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is also going to be not allowed because this is sequential. Hopefully that makes sense. So we can just go in and enter like a random 6-digit pin right there. This is not actually going to be mine, so don't try to get into my account. But we can enter that in and then click right here on next. It's then going to send over a verification code to the email that you signed up with, and we just need to verify that it was actually you making those changes. So if you just go over to the email account that you signed up with, you should have an email from HostGator that says verify your account, and then we should have a verification code right here. So we just copy this, go back over and paste this in. And then we can click on verify. Just like that, this is now verified. So once your security code has been verified, just click on the HostGator icon in this top left corner. And this is going to take us back to the home area. We then have 2 more action items to go through. So let's click into this. We then need to set up a recovery email. So this is for if for whatever reason you lose access to the email that you signed up with, we have a recovery email. So once again, we can just click on add right here. It's first of all going to ask us to add a trusted phone number. So this is once again just for 2-step verification. So all we need to do is choose the country that you are in. We can just scroll this down and choose your country and then enter in the phone number that you would like to verify with. Once that is entered, we just click on continue, and then we are going to receive a verification code to the phone number that you just entered right here. So we can go ahead and pull this up and then enter it into this box, click on verify. And then the final thing that we need to do is just enter in the recovery email or a secondary email that you would like to have as your backup email. Then once that is entered, we just click right here on continue. We can then go to that email and we now need to get a verification code from there. So this is the last step right here. We just copy that verification code. We can enter that in and click on verify. And just like that, we now have everything set up. So all we would need to do is once again, just click back to HostGator right here. I'm going to exit out of these tabs. And just like that, we can see we now have no action steps required. So we can now go ahead and dive into WordPress. To do this, all we are going to do is click on the hosting panel on this left-hand side. And right here, you should be able to see your WordPress website with the domain that we bought earlier on. So to access WordPress, we just click right here into edit site right here at the bottom. And this is now going to go ahead and launch WordPress. Just like that, the HostGator WordPress setup is now going to appear on your screen. So we can start out by clicking on Start Setup right here. It's then going to ask our experience with WordPress. And if we go here to never use it, it's going to give us a tutorial that you really don't need because you're already watching this video that is much more in detail and a much better guide. So just click right here on I've used it some, and then we can click on Continue Setup. On this next screen, it's going to ask us what type of website are we going to be creating. Is this a business website? Is this a creative website for like an artist, a digital creator, a model? Is this an educational website? So just flick along until you find the right category. Honestly, don't overthink this. It doesn't really matter too much as we will be using certain templates that I will show you how to get. So in this example, I'm just going to go for influencer, but once again, it really doesn't matter, and we can click Continue Setup. Once we have gone through, it's going to take us through to this area, and this is where we can set up the SEO for our website and how this is going to appear on Google. So for the site title, we want to go in and make this exactly like the domain, but without the .com. So because my website is called geforcenorthyoutube.com, in here, I'm going to go for the site title and just call this GeForce North YouTube, with the correct grammar, the correct capitalization, everything like that. Then for the site description, we can go down and add just a short description about what the website is about. So let's say in this example that I'm creating this website for my YouTube channel. I might go in here and say daily tutorials, guides, and reviews to help you build your website. And then we can see a preview down here of how the website is going to look on Google. Then for this bottom section, you can add your social media in. This is definitely not something that you need to do, but if you do have social media channels set up for your website, well, you can just go ahead and link them right here. Then the last thing that we are going to do is add a logo or a favicon to the website. Now, what this is you see right at the top here, this is the HostGator favicon in this example, which is the little gator. The WordPress logo looks like this, and that's what we can see in the preview. So all we would need to do is click on upload right here, grab the logo that you would like to use for your website. So I'm going to drop mine in right here. I can see the logo, and this is how it's going to look in the tab right up here. So with all of that now done, we can click on next and we can go through to the next step. And it's then going to ask us what our top priority is. So is this a publishing website, which is like blogs, newsletters, podcasts, videos, and things like this? Is this an e-commerce store? We can select that right here. Or is this just a design website, something like a portfolio, something along those lines? Once again, this really doesn't matter. We can customize this later on. So I'm just going to go for publishing and then click on next. On this next screen, it's then going to ask us to choose the theme for a perfect fit for our website. Now, although this can be quite tempting to spend a lot of time on, don't do this because we are going to be using some much better templates than this, some much more professional ones. And with the templates that I will show you how to get, the actual web builder is going to be a lot more intuitive than the built-in web builder that we get with HostGator. So it really doesn't matter which one we go for, just click on next up here. With all of these, we just want to skip through. It's not even worth taking a look at because, as I say, we're not going to use any of these anyway. Next, it's then going to ask us key features to supercharge your website, and it's going to ask us essentially what plugins do we want to use. Now, essentially what these are is these companies right here, like Yoast and Jetpack, they actually pay HostGator to recommend their services right here. Now, you can install all of these for free, but usually what you will find is if you actually want to access the main features, they are going to charge you. So as I said, these are all free just to have on, but they will ask you later down the line if you want to pay to upgrade. The only ones that are worth having on straight from the get-go is going to be WordPress Forms and Jetpack. So for the rest of these, we can just turn these off. And if you do find that later on when you are building out your website, you do need one of these plugins, well, we can just go ahead and install them later. The reason I recommend turning them off, apart from Jetpack and WordPress Forms, is because the more plugins you have on the website, the slower your website is going to be. Now with these, even if we had these all on, this is only 6 plugins, so it would not make any impact on your website. But what we really want to do is just minimize the amount of plugins that we have. With Jetpack, the security, speed, and growth, this is actually pretty decent with the free plan that you get, so it's worth having this on. And then WordPress Forms, is by far the best forms manager. So at any point in your website, if you do need forms, then WordPress forms is the best. So it's worth having this on. So just make sure you have these two selected and then click on next. And it's then going to go ahead and build the HostGator site for us. So all we now need to do is click on finish in this top right corner. And now we are going to be taken over to the WordPress dashboard. Now, before we go any further, a very important thing that I will mention right here is what you want to do is you want to make it super easy to navigate back to your WordPress dashboard. If you don't do this next step, what you will have to do is every time you want to access WordPress to go in and edit this, is you will have to open up HostGator. You will then have to log into your account, go through this area into hosting, edit the site, and then eventually when this goes through, this is then going to take us into the WordPress dashboard right here. A much easier way to do this with less hassle is just to open up the WordPress dashboard right here. So you are on this screen and then go up and actually bookmark this tab. So we can go to bookmarks, bookmark this tab right here. Let's just call this HostGator dashboard, just like this. And then we can just have this in the bookmarks bar and click on done. And then instead of having to log into HostGator every time, all you have to do is open up a new tab. We can see the HostGator dashboard, so we can just go in right here. This should actually be called WordPress dashboard, not HostGator dashboard in this tab, but it really doesn't matter. That's just a typo right there. Okay, so now we have WordPress fully set up right here. What we can do is we can actually access our website and see how it looks right now by hovering over this home icon in the top corner and clicking on visit site. So this is the default website that, as I mentioned, this is completely irrelevant because we will not actually be using this template. I just wanted to show you this. So this is how the website looks right now. And then from your website, to get back to the WordPress dashboard, we can click on this WordPress button up here and we are going to be taken back to the dashboard. The reason that this looks a little bit different to how it did earlier is just because we were taken to a different area. But to actually get back, we can click into HostGator, and as you can see, this looks the exact same. Now, to get access to the pre-built templates and the better page builder that I mentioned throughout this video, we need to install a free plugin in order to do this. So the way that we do this is over here on the left-hand side, on this dark left-hand side menu. What you want to do is find this plugin icon right here where it says plugins, hover over this, and then go down right here to add new plugin. So click into this, and this is going to take us over to the WordPress plugin library. In the plugin library, we can see all of these plugins right here, but the one that we are specifically looking for is called Starter Templates. So just go to search plugins right here on this right-hand side, this top corner, and then we are simply going to search for Starter Templates, just like this, and click on enter. Then it is this one right here, Starter Templates by Brainstorm Force with this icon. So just go ahead and click on install now, and this is going to install the plugin. Once the plugin is installed, it's then going to have an activate button. So we just click on activate right here. That is then going to activate the plugin and actually take us inside of that plugin. So inside of Starter Templates, we now have two different options. Do we want to use the AI website builder, or do we want to use the classic Starter Templates? I recommend the one that I always use is the classic Starter Templates, because this is going to give us access to all of the pre-built templates that we can edit quickly and easily. So what we want to do is right here, just click on build with templates. And it's then going to ask us the page builder that we would like to use. Always go for Elementor, 100% of the time. The block editor is the standard WordPress editor. This is absolutely terrible, just do not use this. Beaver Builder is a little bit better, but it's not as good as Elementor. So choose Elementor, this is drag and drop. I will show you exactly how to use this. So click into Elementor right here. And then just to make sure that this says Elementor in the top right corner. Then we have all of these different templates to choose from. The only ones that you probably want to avoid, I mean, you could pay for these if you would like, is the premium right here. And the reason for this is because if we go in and we try to build one of these premium templates, this is going to be $79. Now with this, if you do pay the $79, you do get access to every single one of these premium templates that you can see, but I don't recommend this, especially as a beginner. We can go for any of these free templates. The actual builder is the exact same, and these look awesome anyway. So from here, all we now need to do is right at the top, we can see we have all of these different categories for the type of website that we would like to build. You can also search for this at the top. So as an example, let's say I am building a portfolio website. I can go to the top and type in portfolio right here. And then I'm going to see specific templates that are built for portfolios. So this one right here is free portfolio and CV. We then have this designer portfolio right here, this personal portfolio, this visual artist. You get the idea. So what you want to do is just scroll through and find the template that you would like to use. In this example, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go for one of these portfolio websites. As I said, this is completely editable and customizable. So even if you choose one of the templates, it's probably not going to look how the template looks at the end. This is just kind of the building blocks and the foundation to build from. So we can select the template. Then in here, we have the site logo. So once again, what we want to do is take the exact same logo that we uploaded right here earlier on and just select this. So we can drop the file in. I'm just going to choose my logo right here. Click on select, and that is now going to be my site logo. We can then choose the font that we would like to use on the website. Once again, all of this is editable later on, so don't think this is set in stone, but we can choose the font, and then we can choose the colors that we would like to use on the website. So right now, this is set to blue and purple, which we can see up here. This is like the purple. I'm not really seeing much blue on this website, but you get the idea. If I change this to maybe like green and green, you can see this is going to change to green, which I actually think looks pretty nice, but I want this to be congruent with my logo. So I'm going to go for more of a blue color. Awesome. Once all of that is set up, we can click right here on continue. It's then going to ask us to select these features. I recommend just leaving this as it is. Just leave this blank and click on continue. And it's then going to ask to enter in some information. You don't need to do this. I don't see the point in this. We just need to click I understand, let go, and then we can click on submit and build my website. Just like this, it's then going to load in. This should only take a few seconds. So right now this is at 25%. 90%, and then in a few seconds, this is going to be completely finished. Just like that, the website is now ready and only took 10 seconds to set up. So we can now go through and click on view your website. And we can now see that the standard template that we had before, the one that I told you not to care about, is now completely replaced with the current template that we have. So to edit this, what we now need to do is right at the top, we can see this bar right. Click on edit with Elementor right here. And this is now going to take us into the Elementor editor where we can make all of the changes to our website. So we just want to exit out of this notification, and this is the website builder. Now, essentially the way that this works is this is blocks in blocks. So we can see over here on the right hand side, we have the structure of the website, and we can either leave this free floating so that we can drag this around, or we can clip this to the side and plug it in right here. I prefer to have a little bit more space to work with, so I do prefer to unclip this, but it's completely up to you. Now, essentially what this is this shows the entire layout of the website. Now, stick with me because this might seem a little bit confusing at first, but I'm going to explain this so you have a full understanding. Essentially, the way that this website works is it's blocks in blocks. So we can see if I open up this container right here, this contains another container, this contains another container and another container, and inside that container is another container and another container, and then we have the actual heading. So essentially what this is, if I just move these all back up, this looks extremely confusing at first, right? But as I say, this is blocks in blocks. This is the phrase that you need to remember, blocks in blocks. Because if I click on this first container, you can see these pink lines here, right? So this first main container is this pink line at the top to this pink line right here. Then the second meta container is this pink line to this pink line. The third one is this pink line to this pink line. So that should make sense so far, right? Then if I open this up, so once again, I actually won't go with this top section because it's a little bit harder to see. I'll go with this section so we can fully see this. So the main container, the big container is here to here. And then inside of this, we have this container, which is here to here. Then if I drop this down, so inside of this container is the heading. and this is the actual element. So I'll move this back up. We are still inside of this container right here. And then the second container is all of this. And if I drop this down, once again, we can see the individual elements that make that up. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. Really, although you now have a kind of basic understanding about how this works of blocks in blocks in blocks to actually build the website, you don't really need to know this in order to make changes. This is the beautiful thing about Elementor. All you really need to do is drag and drop. So as an example, if I just want to drag this right here, I can drop this in, and now that image is going to be replaced. It's going to be dragged from here to here, and I can drag this back over. To actually change the text, all I need to do is click into the text, and we can change it right here. So as an example, what I can do is go in here, and we can start changing this. So for this top one, what I'm actually going to do is I want to delete this, right? I don't actually want this here, because I want this to say G-Force North YouTube, just like that. But I want this top container gone. So all I need to do to actually delete this is just click on this right here, and it's automatically going to select the exact element that I want to delete in this structure section. So I just click on the section, then I can see it's slightly more gray, the one that I have selected. So all I need to do is right click on this right here, and then I can go down to delete. And now that's going to be deleted. To change images, once again, this is very easy. We just click on the image right here. And then this over here on the left-hand side is the main control panel for how we actually edit things. So the way that you edit is either directly on the page where we can just type things out, or if you can't edit it on the page, then you just click on the element and make all of the changes over here on the left-hand side. So for this image, I actually want an image of myself instead of this random guy. So let's click on this, then on choose image, we can choose the image. Then I'm going to go to upload right here at the top and upload an image of myself. So that is now dropped in. I can click on select, and awesome. That is now updated with an image of me. So then we can go down, and once again, with all of these elements, we can either just click in and we can edit them right here. With this one, I can click into the icon, and then on the left-hand side, I can go ahead and edit this. So I could either choose to delete this over here, just like that. And that is now deleted. Or alternatively, if I deleted something and want to get it back, all I have to do is go to the Elementor icon in this top left corner, click into this, and then click on history, and we can see a history of all of the changes that we made. So I just removed the icon box right here. So what I can do is go to my previous step, and just like that, this is going to come back. So what I can do is go in here, and I can choose the icon that I would like to use. Let's change it to this icon and insert, and I do quite like scroll to continue. Then down here we just have like social media channels, so we can click in. Once again, we can delete this, or we could maybe say like Instagram, just like that. Make the main changes on this left hand side, so I would actually link by clicking in, add my Instagram link right here, and maybe I actually want to add an Instagram logo. So I could add that, insert, and awesome. That looks fantastic, right? So this is essentially how you edit the entire website. We just go down and we can click into these certain sections right here. We can go ahead and edit these. So maybe I'll say welcome to my YouTube channel, just like that. And we can fill this all out right here. Alternatively, if there are certain sections that you want to completely remove, like this right here, if I don't see a reason for this and I don't want to edit the entire thing, well, what I can do is just click into this main section right here. And then right at the top, we have this X icon that we can go ahead and delete. You can also add new sections in the same way. So as an example, if I want to add a section right here between this and this, then all I need to do is hover over the bottom section. So I want to add this above. I hover over the bottom section, click on add, and then in here, I can go ahead, click on starter templates, move this over from pages to blocks. So we actually have a new section. So I can choose this, click on import block, and just like that, this is now going to be imported and added in. So I can make all of my changes. So that is the homepage right there, and that's how we can edit this. But we can also flick along to different pages by going up here. So instead of home, let's go to the contact page on my website. We'll just save the changes. And then in here, in the exact same way, we can go through, edit everything on this page and get this all set up nice and quickly. So that is how you can build a WordPress website using HostGator as the hosting provider. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.